Oh, pick'ems? Okay, let's do pick'ems. Let's do pick'ems. Alright, let's do pick'ems. Alright, let's do pick'ems. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Alright, groups. Alright, let's see. How do I move? How do I move these things? Huh? I'll go with this. Yeah, we'll go with this. Okay, yeah, we'll go with this. And then over here, we'll go with this. And then over here, we'll go with, I think we'll go with this. Actually, Gigabyte Marines might actually beat Rogue. I'm not even kidding. Gigabyte Marines might legitimately beat Rogue. Gigabyte Marines could beat Rogue, man. Gigabyte Marines missed out on MSI. They're the best team from VCS, and it's not even close. It's literally, it's not even close. I only watched a few of their games. I mean, Rogue, it's so weird. It's so weird, it's so weird. Oh, I don't know. Fuck, dude. Okay. Dude, honestly, are 100 Thieves even favored versus Flying Oyster? Are they actually even favored against Flying Oyster? I don't know. I don't think so, man. I don't even think 100 Sins are favored against Flying Oyster. Let's be honest. Okay, NA looks like fucking garbage, okay? They look like garbage. Oh my lord. Oh my god. Losing an Oyster, yeah. Why not at least try and have some controversial picks? It's part of the process. Putting LCK and LC2 is weird and probably not an actual outcome. Okay. So, by your logic, I should choose teams that I don't think are actually going to win and aren't actually better than the people above them, but that because of the way that weird chance can happen and mistakes can happen, the ending of the groups in a best-of-1 format might mean that the better team doesn't get out. You're brilliant. You're brilliant, man. You're now like, yep. Nice. Still more APM than a Yuumi player, yeah. All right, let's do Champions Queue. Can we update title for Champions Queue? Okay, these are my pick'ems. So, okay. Let's actually go over my pick'ems, actually. Okay, so T1 over EDG. So I only watched one of EDG's series from the LPL. So this is an asterisk. Honestly, these two could probably be pretty interchangeable. Everything that I hear is really good about T1, though. Everything that I hear is really good about T1. I expect them to do really, really good in the tournament in general. And again, I'm just basing this off of like conversations that I have with people, right? So that's the only thing about this. These two could be interchangeable, but again, I just have T1 over it. I think Cloud9 is just better than Fnatic. I think that Fnatic's like, I mean, I think Fnatic's strongest point is like if Humanoid's playing really, really, really well, and if Upset is like just playing out of his mind, I think that can be really good. I think in the matchup against Cloud9, Upset versus Berserker will be very interesting. I think that's like the main premier matchup. I think Fudge will absolutely annihilate Wonder, and I just think Blabber is better than Razork. I also think that like Fnatic's affinity for drafting and Cloud9's is very random. We saw this all throughout the split. It is going to really be influenced, I think, by like maybe fucking not really Champions Queue, but like whatever's going on inside of scrims. Maybe if some of them are playing Champions Queue. I don't really know entirely. I think the weakest link for Cloud9 is obviously the mid. It's unfortunately Jensen. That's just how it is at this entire tournament. And I think that could be a problem. In the bot lane, Berserker Berserker also has like two really big things to go up against, and I think that's really problematic, which is obviously Viper, and then he has Gumayusi Keria. And so Berserker, who's a failsafe for Cloud9 in a lot of games, is not a failsafe against DDG or T1. And so, interestingly enough, I think the actual failsafe for C9 in some of the games is probably actually Fudge. I don't think that Fudge is better than Zeus. What I do think is that Fudge will probably look to play for things and manipulate for things better than anyone else in the group in his own lane. And so I think, like, C9's biggest, like, chances to win, I think most likely actually is Blabber and Fudge in this group. Like, if they're going to upset anyone and get out of the group, I think it would be through topside. I think their matchup against Fnatic, where Fnatic finds the only advantage, is actually in mid lane. And I just don't know what's going to happen there, because Humanoid played a couple of Akali games, and he played as Victor and whatnot. But I think as long as Humanoid stays away from, like, hyper-scaling picks or something, and he's able to have a level of influence in the game, I think it can be okay. But realistically, I just expect that Jensen will roleplay versus Fnatic, and that it should be fine. If C9 show up and do the super sinful drafting, where things are just totally random, and the champion pick orders don't really have any sort of a theme or an identity to it, and it gets really bad, I mean, then yeah, in the Fnatic matchup, it'll be Berserker being a failsafe. I mean, Fudge will probably, I think Fudge will absolutely dismantle Wonder. But really, the thing is, like, if Fudge falls behind against Zeus, like T1 or EDG, I think things get a little rough. Okay, now we move on to Group B. So JDG is kind of weird. When I watched the series in LPL with JDG, I just felt like they were so much better in even the games that they were losing. A lot of that is a testament to 369. And so with Damwon Kia and their musical chairs with, like, the top lane and, like, all the other great stuff, and, the red side, blue side, great. I just imagine JDG is going to cause so many problems for Damwon inside of this group. Likewise, I just think that 369 is going to run a field day. And if, like, G2 is going to have any hope, Caps would have to go, I don't know. I mean, G2 would have to have, like, really good draft things, which I just don't think are likely to end up occurring. I'm just being totally honest with the way that the current jungle meta is. I think that, like, the largest likelihood that people could get draft edges would be, like, ending up with Viego, like ending up with an early rotated Viego or, like, Hecarim, and then the opponents just don't respond. But honestly, I just don't trust this from some of the G2 members. So I think, like, G2 relies heavily on Caps in general. So there's that. EG, I just think are screwed. I really do. I think the group's just way too rough. I think that JoJo is one of their most important players in the entire game. And I think that EG, I mean, even in group stage, we were really seeing it. Impact was, I mean, he was making a lot of blunders, and that's just how it was. And I think with, like, Broken Blade, Nuguri, Bertle, and 369, I think that, like, that's a problem. The other thing is, obviously, the jungle is here. Inspired is really, really, really good, but so are a lot of the junglers in the group. And so even, like, the bot lane dynamic, I don't really find much success, or that I don't find, like, G2 having much success. So that's the order for this. We move on to Group C. And then we have Top Esports, who I only watched, one of the series of, I believe. I only watched one of the series of. DRX got through play-ins, but the manner in which they got through play-ins, it was very slow, it was very methodical. They did play through Deft. They did have that miracle game, right, against Mad. And if Zika can show up and play the way that he was playing in play-ins and stuff, maybe they have a chance to edge out the first top spot. But I just don't see any other team in this group really playing and doing anything. The Rogue placement below Gigabyte Marines, this is purely speculatory. Off of Gigabyte Marines is by far and away the most dominant VCS team. It's not even close. If people did watch their games, now remember, they chose not to go to MSI because they chose to do some, like, country participation event thingy where they went and played there. I think Rogue, watching them in LEC, I think Rogue has good players. I do think that. But I also think that some ways that Rogue was winning a lot of the games and the things that they were getting away with and stuff, I don't know. This could definitely be a toss-up. Again, this is speculatory. that I'm just putting Gigabyte above Rogue, but it's not necessarily shade to Rogue. I think this is more praise to just Gigabyte Marines. I think that I think Rogue, if Rogue were in Group B, I would have Rogue in the same exact spot that I would have G2. If Rogue were in Group D or something, I would have Rogue above 100 Thieves, right? I mean, I would probably have them in the same spot here. I'd have them above 100 Thieves, so I don't think it's any shade towards Rogue. And then obviously Group D, Generation Gaming with Chovy. RNG just looked super shaky in plans. I'm so sorry, but they did. They looked really shaky. There was tons of blunders happening constantly. The way that they draft is absolutely sinful. Just so many things about their gameplay that's just so totally random. I just don't see them beating Gen G, who's just so stable and consistent. And then 100 Sins over PCS, again, speculatory, just based on, I mean, also, you can even, based on conversations, right? But if you look at even play-ins and you look at just the level of play overall, things are kind of weird between, like, the wild cards and even North America. EG had an amazing showing tonight against Mad Lions, but I mean, it's all just kind of weird. And I understand that EG is, below 100 Sins, but remember, EG and 100 Sins went to 5 games. So, I mean, those are my pick'ems. Let's see if a game is gonna fire.